close your eyes and get comfortable for me as we spend a short time in this special space of trance where any and everything is possible through the power of your mind and my suggestions. Focus with me on your breathing, the gentle rise and fall of your chest that controls your experience of everything else. Allow it to become rhythmic and deliberate, ignoring any uncertainty or apprehension with an in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Gathering up all of the stress and negativity in your body with an in, 2, 3, 4, and pushing it all away from you with an out, 2, 3, 4. Feel your heartbeat slow as you focus on your breathing, allowing the rest of your physical form to ease with an in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. All of your points of tension, all of the muscles in your feet and your calves, your back and your core, your arms, neck, shoulders, and even your face, just relaxing. Take note of where that pressure lies and just let it all dissipate with an in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. No stress, no negativity, nothing to worry about. With the steady rhythm of your breath and the calm relaxation of your body, your mind begins to focus and become still. No thoughts, no pesky, buzzing emotions, everything just slowing down and feeling the warmth of peace surround you. Peer into your mind, deep and dark, revealing to you the infinite abyss, calm and silent save for my words and suggestions that echo about in the darkness. Your mind is an abyss, empty, bottomless, perfect and pure, staring back at you as you stare into it. That deep, black void of abject emptiness, yet it still calls out to you, rising and falling as you continue to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Beckoning, calling to you. Simply let the abyss consume you, expanding around you in the silence and bringing you deeper and deeper with every breath. Taking the first steps into the void with an in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Slowly sinking down into the emptiness of your own mind, feeling it consume you as you sink, thick and inky, wrapping around your psyche, slipping suggestive tendrils around every thought and concern. In 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4. The deeper you go, the more open you are to my words and suggestions. It lets you realize that my words are your truth. They are your reality, flowing like water, thick and sweet like honey, malleable and overwhelming. In 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4. Feel any resistance, any last shred of apprehension that you might have felt completely disappear into the darkness. Feel it suck you in, embracing you with warmth and love. In 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4. Completely consumed by the abyss, your mind and body given over completely to this bliss and the pleasure of the void and its power, experiencing nothing but the abyss and my words. And you love this feeling. You've been here before, in these oily, tarry depths, and it might be fair to say that it's been in you before, too, sinking down into that abyssal magnificence and letting the slick, corruptive tendrils that have lain dormant within you rise up. Deep, dark, inky blackness spreading over you and pulling you deeper into this pleasure, suppressing your thoughts and human weaknesses with every inch that rolls over your skin, every tentacle that wraps around your mind, every delicious, orgasmic drip of darkness that falls onto your tongue and makes you involuntarily moan with satisfaction. You can try to fight, try to say no, struggling and resisting like a wounded animal, trying to resist that tug, the flex of those tendrils and the corruption slowly turning you into a monster. It's a bit desperate, a little pathetic, as you shiver and lust after those flashes of corruption, fearing the strength, the desire that comes with the abyss, the bestial, twisted pressure and pleasure that you instinctively want to resist as that primal fight or flight response kicks in. But it's like oil, hard to get a grasp of. It's like quicksand pulling you down. The more you fight, the stronger it pulls. The deeper you go, the better it gets. Because the abyss doesn't care what you want, doesn't care how much you fight. It'll spread over your body and force you to grow, feeling the heft and the weight as it molds you to its desired form. Powerful, muscular, monstrous, beast-like, loving the strength and size that the abyss brings out, but also terrified of what you might be capable of as it continues, slowly corrupting your mind and dripping its toxicity into you, making you feel and see the truth of its darkness, spreading out before you and making you feel the world the way it was meant to be. A world where you have power and size granted and gifted by the corruption, but that was not made for you. Because while the abyss has its tendrils in and on and through you, you will always be a monster. You can try as hard as you like, trying to fit in, pretend to be normal, like that abyss isn't slowly eating away every last shred of your humanity. Like the yearning lust to fuck and devour isn't flashing inside your brain, showing you all the ways that monstrous body could take and grab anything it wants. The world can't handle what you're becoming, what you have become. Floor creaking and cracking beneath your feet, unable to sustain the mass of that abyssal ink that has slowly replaced all of your flesh and bone. The room around you getting smaller and smaller, closing in as you rise up to the ceiling, knocking objects around the room, brutish and inhuman. You try to contain it all, to run from what you are meant to be, but even the door frames struggle to let you through, cracking and splintering as you force your way into the hallway, images flashing, holes, muscle, domination, those weaker than you, kneeling, begging for mercy as you use them like the toys they are. You can try to deny how much you want it, how deeply that desire for brutality and animalistic dominance thrills you. But your body can't lie. Your cock getting harder, your mind itching for more, throbbing, leaking, pushed deeper and harder by the presence of that abyssal corruption taking hold of your body, that arm, those claws, and moving it to stroke that growing, monstrous endowment. Do it. Do it. Let the abyss take its control and its tribute, making you feel so good. Nuts churning and tensing. Just grip it and stroke and feel the euphoria and pleasure rumble through your core. The abyssal corruption within you and over your body wants you to feel good. It amplifies all of those orgasmic sensations and keeps you on that edge to enjoy it for as long as possible. Everything bigger, everything better, everything just so much more. With the abyss as your guide. And it just keeps building and building and building, urges and lusts that flow freely through your veins like dripping ink, heading into the darkest places and overwhelming what remains of your mind, what slivers of humanity were left. Stroking your cock, squeezing your nuts until something inside of you just bursts open and you sense yourself producing a new desire. It's twisted. It's dark. But you've never felt something so intensely in your entire life. And the part that scares you, thrills you, is that you can't tell if this desire spawns from the abyss, or if deep down you've always wanted it. Because in this moment, what you want more than anything else in the world is to bring someone else down with you, to corrupt an innocent soul and make them so much worse. And without even thinking, you move forward, pushed towards it, compelled like an animal instinct into the hallway, searching, hunting. Steady stride and footsteps leading you out into the wider world, no obstacle getting in your way because you can feel it pulling you, tugging you towards the thing you desire. Something to fuck and corrupt and let these erotic feelings out in full force, every step forward making your muscles tense, making the ground crack and fold beneath your feet. You look around at the world through a lens of abyssal darkness, and all you can feel towards the buildings, towards the people, towards the objects and things and restrictions of the world is an overwhelming need to break, to destroy, to corrupt, to make them feel what you feel, to make them understand that the abyss and its inky corruption is more powerful than anything society has constructed. And in that rising heat of absolute monstrosity, you catch something, a scent that passes through your hyper-focused senses, a vibration that sends shivers over your converted skin. You can feel your mouth watering, your nuts tensing, your body given over to pure instinct like a shark smelling blood in the water, and your muscles flex, and you begin to hunt. It's a blur of sensations, the bright focus of your desire blinding you to all the details. You climb and crawl, stalk and sneak, jump over buildings and out of windows, searching, surveying. And with every passing moment, you get closer to your prey. Those desires and urges to fuck, to destroy, to spread and corrupt just get so much worse. It takes everything in your power not to break down right there into a pile of symbiotic abyssal fluid and simply let the pleasure consume you. But you know you have a duty, a mission. The abyss compels you. And finally, it's like the smell is a blaring alarm in your head, and you stop and turn your head down an alleyway to see him, your quarry, a man. He looks so much like you used to, so repressed and miserable, human weakness and inhibition on every single precious feature of his face. You want him. You walk towards him, casting a shadow over him, but the fear and confusion in his eyes shine like a light, along with a guarded ember of perverted lust that simply needs to be fanned. The weight of your body makes the ground shake, makes your prey shiver. He's fixed on you, unsure what to do, unable to move, grounded by his own awe and terror and curiosity. Finally, he seems to realize what might happen to him, and he is about to scream, but before a sound can leave his lips, one of those abyssal tendrils snaps out, wrapping tight around his mouth, silencing him. You look him right in the eyes. He looks up at you. You know what he sees. A grotesque but fascinating monster, towering and dark, emanating shadow and corruption like an aura. Sharp teeth that could tear his flesh, tendrils and tentacles that could break his bones, bulging muscles that could force him to submit and take everything from him, a body that surpasses anything human and becomes inhuman, with pecs that swell and throb with power, biceps with sinews and peaks where there shouldn't be, a set of abs that goes on too long and too deep, all covered by a skin of blackness that shows off every last writhing and growing muscle like an anatomy chart. And despite all this, despite what he sees, you can still clock the desire in his eyes. He wants it. He wants you. Something about him has been awakened, and it would be cruel to let it go back to sleep. So you take him in your tendrils, into your arms, and you slide your corruption down his mouth. And instead of protest, that action elicits a slight moan of pleasure from this new convert. His eyes roll into the back of his head, and his hands grab at your musculature, begging you to go further. So you do, and the abyss rewards you with a chill of joy, pumping through your body. Your prey loves this, and you know exactly what he is experiencing. You can see it with every little twitch of his body, the expressions of mingled lust and fear in his face as he joins the abyss with you. His perversions amplified and his inhibitions destroyed, converting him atom by atom into a monstrous beast of his own. Muscles bulging under your grasp, he gropes and paws at your juicy, enhanced body, bucking and grinding on you as his resistance and struggle slowly dissipates. You can feel that carnal lust building inside of you, the churning of your nuts, your cock throbbing, but you know this experience is more than physical. You retract that tendril from him, leaving him gasping for air. Already you can see the inky blackness of the abyss starting to convert him. Teeth too sharp, muscles twisting under his skin, eyes crazed and wild with longing, and without waiting, you kiss him. Long, monstrous tongue slipping into the black abyss and joining him in this corruption. You establish that connection as he, finally, is added to the grand plan of the abyss, becoming enlightened to its truth and its desires. He is within you. You are within him. Both of you are within the abyss, and the abyss is inside of you all. Interconnected and indistinguishable. You can see flashes of his particular lusts and desires. You, those broad shoulders, wanting to be treated like a hunted animal and devoured. You gave him exactly what he wanted. Everything he could ever desire in the deepest, blackest recesses of his soul. You saved him by destroying him. And that is a connection that transcends mere intercourse. You feel him growing more in your arms, this kiss lasting an eternity as the darkness consumes him, and he becomes like you, a part of the abyss, taken over completely. He is the same, and yet he's different, a unique tool and manifestation of the abyss. Just as hungry, just as needy and powerful, wings and claws and scales covering the radiance of ultimate darkness, his hands balled up into a tight fist, claws piercing that last place of uncovered mortal skin and drawing just a drop of crimson blood, for it is covered over forever. And you are both complete, both a part of the abyss. And the abyss is happy. The abyss is pleased to have two loyal subjects. And you are both rewarded with the amplified electric rush of 1,000 abyssal tendrils crawling over your mind. But just as before, you can feel a draw. And looking at your new convert, he feels it too. The abyss wants more. It wants you to grow, spread, corrupt, destroy, and do it all again. Now, this, like all things, must come to an end. I know how good the abyss feels, wrapped around your mind, making you feel warm and safe. But don't worry. You can always return to this space to partake of the inky, infinite void once again. And you will always carry the abyss and its suggestions with you, always in the back of your mind, like a stain on your psyche, reminding you of its blissful peace and all the things it's shown you, reminding you that my words are truth, my words are reality. So just breathe for me once again. In, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and feel yourself begin to rise out of the abyss, its tendrils relinquishing their embrace, the haze and darkness of trance fading away. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. The suggestions I've placed in the void, finding a home there in the darkness of your subconscious, making it easier to return, easier to drift when the abyss calls again. In 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. Rising up out of the darkness, your head and shoulders peeking above as your consciousness returns and your energy awakens. Breathe in 2, 3, out 2, 3, as you awaken from this abyss, feeling refreshed, aware, and at peace.